I gave him my whole life. And one day, I realized he no longer noticed me. It did not happen during an argument. It did not happen because of another woman. It did not even happen on a bad day. It happened on an ordinary morning. I was standing in the kitchen, making his tea the way I always did. Not too strong, not too weak, just the way he liked it. I placed the cup on the table and said softly, "Your tea is ready." He walked past it, sat down, picked up his phone. The tea grew cold. I stood there for a moment, holding the kettle, waiting for him to look up, waiting for him to notice me, waiting for him to remember. He didn't. And in that quiet space, with the sound of the clock ticking and the tea untouched, I felt something inside me shift. Not anger, not hate, just a deep, slow sadness. That was the moment I understood. I had given him my youth, my time, my strength, my care. And somewhere along the way, I disappeared from his eyes. I didn't cry. I didn't speak. I simply turned off the stove, sat down across from him, and looked at the man I had built my life around. And I thought to myself, when did I stop being someone he noticed? Before I was his wife, I was just a simple woman with simple hopes. I wanted a peaceful home, a kind partner, a life that felt safe. When I met him, he made me feel chosen. He listened when I spoke. He smiled when he saw me. He noticed the small things. "You matter to me," he used to say, and I believed him. Marriage did not scare me. Hard work did not scare me. Sacrifice did not scare me, because I believed love meant building something together. When we married, we had very little, but we had each other. I learned his habits, his moods, his silences. I learned when to speak and when to stay quiet, when to push and when to step back. I adjusted my life around his. When his job needed more time, I gave it. When money was tight, I stretched it. When he was tired, I carried more. I told myself this was normal. This was marriage. I did not complain. I did not count. I thought one day he would look at me and say, "I see everything you did." For a while, he did. He used to thank me. He used to notice. But years passed quietly. And slowly, the thanks stopped. The changes came softly. He stopped asking how I felt. He stopped noticing when I was tired. If the house was clean, it was expected. If it wasn't, it was questioned. If food was ready, it was normal. If it wasn't, it was a problem. One evening, I sat beside him and said, "I feel very tired lately." He replied, "Everyone gets tired." That was it. Another day, I asked him if we could spend time together. He said, "Not now." Not now became not today. Not today became not anymore. I began to feel like furniture in my own home. Useful, quiet, unnoticed. I still did everything. I still cared. But something inside me started to feel heavy. I began to wonder if love was supposed to feel this lonely. After I told him I had finally started noticing myself, something changed between us. Not in a loud way, not in a dramatic way, but the air in the house felt different. He began watching me more closely, not with love, not with anger, but with confusion. It was as if he was trying to understand when I had slipped out of the role he had grown used to. The role of the woman who was always there, always ready, always quiet. One morning, I did not wake up before him. I stayed in bed a little longer, listening to the sounds of the house waking up without me. The kettle stayed cold. The kitchen stayed silent. When I finally came out, he was standing there, looking unsure. "Did you not make tea today?" he asked. I looked at him gently and said, "I didn't feel like it." He nodded slowly, but I could see it on his face. This was new to him. For years, my care had been automatic, like breathing, like sunlight. And now, its absence felt strange to him. But still, he did not ask why. He did not ask how I felt. He only noticed that something was missing. The days moved forward quietly. I still cooked. I still cleaned. I still took care of the house. But I no longer rushed. I no longer filled every silence. I no longer tried to please him before listening to myself. And slowly, memories began to surface in my mind. Memories I had pushed aside for years. I remembered the job I loved before marriage, the coworkers who believed in me, the way I used to laugh freely. I remembered telling him once that I wanted to study further. He had said, "Maybe later. Let's focus on the family now." Later never came. I remember times I was sick, but still got up to cook. Times I swallowed my pain because I didn't want to disturb him. At the time, I thought that was love. Now, I wasn't so sure. One evening, while I was folding clothes, he sat across from me. He watched me quietly for a long time. Then he said, "You don't smile like you used to." I kept folding. "I smile when I feel like smiling," I replied. He didn't answer. The silence stretched between us. I could feel him wanting to say more, but he didn't know how. And for once, I did not help him find the words. That night, I lay awake thinking about how many times I had helped him speak. How many times I had softened my words, changed my tone, swallowed my truth. All so he would feel comfortable. And I wondered something painful. Had my silence taught him that my feelings did not matter? The next day, I went out alone. Just a small walk. Nothing special. But when I came back, he asked, "Where were you?" "I went for a walk," I said. He looked surprised. "You didn't tell me." "I didn't think I needed to," I replied. Again, that quiet pause. Again, that look of someone realizing the ground beneath them had shifted. As days passed, he started noticing small things. Dinner was simpler. The house was quieter. I spoke less. One night, he said, "Have I done something wrong?" I looked at him for a long moment. I could have said yes. I could have listed everything. But I didn't. I said calmly, "I don't know if you did something wrong. I just know I felt unseen for a very long time." His face changed. Not with anger. Not with blame. With something closer to fear. He didn't respond right away. He stood up, walked to the window, and looked outside. "I didn't know," he finally said. Those words hurt more than I expected, because I realized something important. He didn't notice because he didn't have to. I had made life too easy for him. That night, memories kept me awake again. I remembered his successes, how I celebrated them quietly, how I stayed in the background while he stood in the light. I remembered when people praised him and I smiled proudly. But no one praised me, not even him, and I had accepted that. The following week, something happened that stirred old feelings. We attended a family gathering. Everyone greeted him warmly, asked about his work, his plans. No one asked about me. I stood beside him, smiling politely. At one point, someone said, "You're lucky to have such a supportive wife." He nodded, didn't look at me, didn't say, "Thank you." And in that moment, surrounded by people, I felt completely alone. On the way home, I stayed quiet. He noticed. "What's wrong?" he asked. I answered honestly, "I felt invisible today." He sighed. "You think too much," he said. That sentence felt familiar. Too familiar. It was the same sentence he had used for years whenever I expressed pain. And something inside me settled. Not broke. Settled. I knew then that he did not understand emotional neglect. And maybe he never had. That night, I cried quietly. Not because I wanted him to hear, but because I needed to let it out. I cried for the woman I used to be, for the dreams I set aside, for the years I gave freely. And I cried because I realized something else. Love without appreciation slowly turns into loneliness. The next morning, I made a decision. A small one, but important. I decided to stop waiting for him to change. I decided to change how I treated myself. I rested when I needed. I spoke when I felt. And slowly, something else began to change. Me. He began asking questions. "Why don't you sit with me anymore? Why are you so quiet? Are you angry?" I answered calmly each time. "No. I'm just tired. I'm just listening to myself." He didn't know what to do with those answers. One evening, he said something that stayed with me. "I feel like I'm losing you." I looked at him, and for the first time, I felt something close to honesty rise in my chest. I said, "I lost myself a long time ago. I'm just finding her again." He didn't speak after that. That night, as we sat in silence, I realized something powerful. Sometimes, people only notice your value when you stop giving it away freely. And sometimes, the hardest truth is this: you can love someone deeply and still have to choose yourself. This realization was not loud. It didn't bring instant peace, but it brought clarity. And clarity, even when painful, is a kind of freedom. The turning point did not arrive with shouting. It did not come with slammed doors or harsh words. It came quietly, on a day that looked just like every other day. That morning, I woke up feeling tired in a way sleep could not fix. Not body tired. Morning, I made a decision. A small one, but important. I decided to stop waiting for him to change. I decided to change how I treated myself. I rested when I needed. I spoke when I felt. And slowly, something else began to change.
Me.
He began asking questions. Why don't you sit with me anymore? Why are you so quiet? Are you angry? I answered calmly each time.
No.
I'm just tired. I'm just listening to myself. He didn't know what to do with those answers. One evening, he said something that stayed with me. I feel like I'm losing you. I looked at him, and for the first time, I felt something close to honesty rise in my chest. I said, I lost myself a long time ago. I'm just finding her again. He didn't speak after that. That night, as we sat in silence, I realized something powerful. Sometimes, people only notice your value when you stop giving it away freely. And sometimes, the hardest truth is this: you can love someone deeply and still have to choose yourself. This realization was not loud. It didn't bring instant peace, but it brought clarity. And clarity, even when painful, is a kind of freedom. The turning point did not arrive with shouting. It did not come with slammed doors or harsh words. It came quietly, on a day that looked just like every other day. That morning, I woke up feeling tired in a way sleep could not fix. Not body tired.
Asked.
I took another breath. I gave you my time, my energy, my dreams, my silence. He didn't interrupt. I built my life around you, around this home, around everyone else. My hands were shaking now. But somewhere along the way, I continued. You stopped seeing me. He opened his mouth to speak, but I raised my hand gently. Please, I said, let me finish. I told him things I had never said out loud before. How lonely I felt sitting beside him every night. How invisible I felt at family gatherings. How tired I was of being strong all the time. I did not accuse. I did not shout. I simply spoke. And with every word, I felt lighter. He stood there, quiet. For the first time in years, he did not have an answer ready. When I finished, the room felt very still. He looked at me with eyes I barely recognized. I didn't know you felt like this, he said.
His voice was softer now.
And that's when the truth hit me hardest. I looked at him and said, that's the problem. You never knew. We stood there in silence. The kind of silence that changes things. He finally spoke again. So, what do you want now? He asked. That question scared me, because I realized something. For years, I had wanted him to choose me. Now, I had to choose myself. I want to feel alive again, I said. I want to feel like I matter. He nodded slowly. I don't know how to fix this, he admitted. And for the first time, I believed him. That night, we slept in the same bed, but it felt different. Like two people standing at opposite sides of a quiet river. Close enough to see each other, too far to touch. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. I thought about the years behind me, the meals cooked, the sacrifices made, the words swallowed. And I asked myself a hard question. If nothing changed, could I keep living like this? The answer came quietly.
No.
The next few days were heavy.
We spoke politely, carefully.
Like strangers learning each other again. He tried in small ways, asked if I needed help, asked what I wanted for dinner. But something was missing. Understanding. Not actions. Awareness. One afternoon, I found an old notebook. It was hidden in the back of a drawer. Inside were things I once loved.
Plans.
Ideas. Dreams written in my younger handwriting. I sat on the floor and cried. Not because I was sad, but because I remembered who I was, and how much of her I had buried. That evening, I told him something I had never said before. "I don't know who I am outside this marriage," I said.
He looked at me.
"That scares me," I continued, "but staying lost scares me more." He listened. Really listened.
And I could see it.
This was not a threat. This was a truth. He asked quietly, "Are you leaving?" I shook my head. "I don't know," I said honestly. "I just know I can't keep disappearing." That was the turning point. Not because a decision was made, but because honesty finally entered the room. That night, I slept deeply for the first time in years. Not because everything was fixed, but because I had finally spoken my truth. And sometimes, that is the beginning of everything. The days after that conversation moved slowly. Not painfully slow, just quiet. Like a house after a long storm, when the rain has stopped but the air still feels heavy. We began to move around each other with care. Not fear, but awareness. He watched me more. Not in a controlling way, in a noticing way. As if he was finally seeing the woman who had been standing beside him all along. And I noticed myself too. For the first time in years, I paid attention to my own feelings. One morning, I didn't wake up to make breakfast. I woke up when my body felt ready. The sun was already high. I felt guilty at first. That old feeling rose up quickly. But then I remembered something important. Rest is not laziness. Silence is not selfish. I went to the kitchen slowly. He was there.
Cooking.
Clumsily. Eggs burned slightly. Toast too dark. But he looked at me with a small smile. "I thought I'd try," he said. I nodded. "Thank you."
And I meant it.
We sat at the table together.
No phones. No rules.
Just the sound of cutlery and quiet breathing. After a moment, he said, "I didn't realize how much you carried." I kept my eyes on my plate. "It didn't look heavy," I replied softly. "But it was." He nodded. "I should have seen it." "Yes," I said gently. "You should have." That honesty stayed between us. Not sharp, not accusing, just true. In the days that followed, he tried in ways that were new. Not grand gestures, not sudden romance, but small things. Asking my opinion, waiting instead of assuming, listening without fixing. And I responded differently too. I spoke up sooner. I rested without explaining. I allowed myself space. One afternoon, I went out alone. No reason, no destination. Just me. I walked through a small park nearby. Children were playing. Old couples sat quietly on benches. Life moved gently around me, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years.
Peace.
Not because everything was perfect, but because I was present. That evening, he asked where I had been. "I went for a walk," I said. He smiled.
I'm glad.
No questions.
No guilt.
Just acceptance. And something inside me softened. We started talking more. Not about chores or plans, but about feelings. He told me about pressures I never knew he carried. About fears he never spoke aloud. And I listened. Not as the fixer. Not as the silent supporter. But as an equal. One night, he said something that stayed with me. "I thought providing was enough," he admitted. I looked at him. "Providing matters," I said. "But presence matters too." He nodded slowly. "I'm learning that now." There were still difficult days. Moments when old habits returned. Moments when I felt unseen again.
But now I spoke.
And he listened. And when he forgot, I reminded him. Not angrily, just clearly. Forgiveness did not arrive all at once. It came in pieces. In conversations. In effort. In quiet understanding. And I forgave myself too. For staying silent so long. For believing my needs were too much. For disappearing. One evening, we sat on the porch as the sky grew dark. The air was cool. The world felt calm. He reached for my hand. Not urgently, not possessively, just gently. "I'm sorry," he said. "For the years I didn't notice." I squeezed his hand. "I know," I replied, "but noticing now matters." I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if everything will always be easy. But I do know this. I am no longer invisible. And I will never make myself small again to keep peace. Love should not erase you. It should hold you. That was the resolution. Not a perfect ending, but a real one. Built on truth, on growth, on quiet strength. Now, when I look back, I don't see just pain. I see time. Years that passed quietly. Moments that slipped through my hands because I was busy holding everyone else together. I don't regret loving him. I don't regret the life we built. But I do regret how long I forgot myself inside it. I used to think sacrifice was proof of love. The more I gave, the more I believed I mattered. But love does not ask you to disappear. And marriage is not meant to turn one person into a shadow. I learned that late, but I learned it. These days, I still wake up early sometimes. Old habits don't leave easily. But now, I ask myself a simple question. What do I need today? Sometimes the answer is rest. Sometimes it is silence. Sometimes it is conversation. And sometimes it is simply sitting by the window and letting the light touch my face. My husband still has moments when he forgets. He is human.
So am I.
But now, forgetting no longer feels like erasing.
Because I speak.
And because he listens, not perfectly, but honestly. We walk slower now. We talk softer. We argue less. And when we do, we repair sooner. The house feels different. Not louder, just warmer. Like a place where two people are finally sharing the same space instead of passing each other inside it. I often think of other women like me. Women who give quietly. Who carry families on their backs. Who believe being needed is the same as being loved. I wish I could sit beside them and whisper something gently. You matter too. Your tiredness matters. Your silence matters. And your voice deserves to be heard. If my story has taught me anything, it is this. Love must include seeing. Not just being there. Not just providing. But noticing. Noticing effort. Noticing change. Noticing the person who stands beside you every single day. I am still here. Not as someone who gave up her whole life, but as someone who finally stepped back into it. With quiet strength. With open eyes. With a heart that knows its worth. And if you're listening to this tonight, if something in my story feels familiar, please remember this. It is never too late to be seen. And it is never wrong to ask for the love you give so freely. That is my story. Thank you for listening.